Hello everybody, this is FTV here to bring game 2 between Lucky, the red Zerg in the bottom left, versus Apocalypse, playing as Reaper King, is the blue Terran in the bottom right. Now I am sure that all of the replays as Lucky versus Reaper King are labeled Lucky versus Apocalypse, so I want to say that Reaper King is just whatever he's using on whatever server. But I am actually going to look it up later to make sure I'm just not crazy, and I'll probably correct myself on some later video if I'm wrong. Either way, that last game was actually quite intense. It was actually just pretty crazy, that end game there. The Marine Medevac Mine versus Mutiling Infestor Bane. It was one of the longest matches I've ever seen, as a matter of fact, especially considering how low-tech it really was. You didn't see hive-tech out of Lucky, and you didn't see, well, I mean, you don't often see Terran honestly go past Marine Marauder. Sort of silly to assume they would. I mean, not that I'm saying that that's a bad thing, because if Marine Marauder works, why wouldn't you do it? But nevertheless, you didn't see anything higher tech, really, although when I think about it, Biomine actually is higher tech than MMM, so score, please? Oh my gosh. I've never actually seen, there we go, yeah, APOC, okay, good. Ursadon, thank you so much. I have no idea, wait a second. I think I know that guy. Not personally, but, anyway, whatever. Sorry, I'm really sorry, folks, that I just completely got distracted. Normally, you don't see the observers talking in games like these. It's a little bit of a rare thing, especially asking about score. Normally, that thing's sort of established beforehand. Either way, going to be seeing where Apocalypse is right about now. Command center coming down here. I think that was starting to build first, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it was. Smart move. Honestly, on this map would have been a lot better if he hadn't been, basically if that hadn't been the Lucky Overlord and scouted this out first. If he had been able to do it without that scout, it would have been fantastic. Why was my mouse glitching? I do not know, but hey, it happens. Either way, this is a very macro map. It's large. I shouldn't say it's macro. It's an early expand map. I don't know so much about macro because your third base, while you have two choices, is relatively harder to defend than most maps. It's a lot of open space, a lot of areas for your opponent to exploit. As the Protoss, I actually start to wall. I just make tons of walls everywhere. It's sort of my thing nowadays in PvZ that I wall a ton. Nevertheless, we are going to be seeing a bunker come down at the front, and the expand will be fairly safe here. Going to be lifting off and landing over there. I do love safe play, I have to confess. I mean, a lot of people say how much they love seeing somebody, you know, take that risk of like 3 bases before they even get a supply depot or something like that. I don't. I enjoy watching players play a game really safely. I like it when they do everything just perfectly. By the way, talking about really safely, I think Lucky is just going to be going for a lot of Zergling pressure, if not just going for it right now. So we'll see if he played safe enough. The wall is starting to be made, but it's going to be too little too late. And speed is done. Surrounding that bunker immediately. There's the repair trying to go down. He's not going to be able to repair fast enough. SCV's pulled off a little just too late there. This expansion going to be denied by Lucky. He's going to try and work that off. He could lift off at any time. He's trying not to do it. There was the lift off. There's SCV's at the front repairing the wall off. He doesn't even have any more units. All of a sudden, it's just those two Marines and that one Hellion Oh, there's the opening in the wall. If he had... Oh my gosh. That was a risk right there, talking about safe play. I understand why he did it, but you gotta be careful. These Lings going to be pressuring him nonstop. Remember what I said about how I loved what Lucky could do with Lings? This is a lot about what I mean. Not only in the first game did he slow down and expand and deny the Hellions coming out when they should, but then right there, delaying the expansion again. Hellbats, though, on the field, going to be making a huge difference here. And remember, no, never mind, this is not before the nerf for Hellbats, so they're not quite as strong as they normally would be. I feel like he's going to be, yeah, and there we go. He's going to be going for a more factory-based style of play this game. One I like a good deal. I love things focusing around Hellbats. I just happen to like Hellbats a lot. They're a very interesting unit. Especially if you get the because he doesn't actually have the upgrade for them yet, which is going to be a bit of a problem, as we do see the Lings going to be moving to intercept this drop along with the Queens. I don't think he's going to be able to do any damage with this at all. Overlords are imba. That's just the only way to say he's going to have to drop now. Otherwise, he's going to lose all of his units entirely. There was a little bit of healing going on. No blue flames means, well, basically no real kills there. And he's going to want... Yep, there's the tech lab coming down. I'm 90% certain that Infernal Pre-Igniter will... It's just, you have to research it at this point. There's just no way you can get away with having Hellbats and not having Infernal Pre-Igniter. But I think, there we go. Yep, there it is. And what are we seeing? Banelings again out of Lucky. Actually, that is considered the appropriate response to Hellbats. They are indeed a light unit, and they don't actually do enough damage to stop you. Really. That's basically, it's really hard to use, basically, how to explain this? Banelings can hit. Even if some of them die, Banelings will reach the Hellbats and do massive damage. Most of them will not die to Hellbats because they don't hit quickly enough. They hit in bursts of flame. So these Banelings are actually going to be very effective. Sometimes I have to slow down my talking to make anything I'm doing make any sense whatsoever. Either way, there's definitely going to be more than enough units here to cause a real... there's the Banelings. And all of a sudden he realizes he is in trouble, though he does actually manage to get a fair amount of kills down. I don't even know how that happened. I feel like there must have been some lifting and dropping going on while I wasn't looking. And Infernal Pre-Igniter almost done. If he'd waited for it, I feel it might have been a little bit of a different story. Mutalisks on the way, going to be a bit of an issue for him, although he could put a Thor out at any point here. If I were him, that would be one of the things I would do. You almost need a Thor if you want to go for a lot of Hellbats. Multiple reasons. One, absorb Banelings, of course. Two, Mutas can be a bit of an issue. Of course, if he has enough Marines, that won't be a problem, but producing off that, I don't think we'll be able to do it. But this is going to be a huge drop. I don't even think this is a drop. I think he's just going to be going for a bit of an attack with this. He does have Vikings and vehicle weapons too on the way. I don't know if the Vikings are going to help much. Spire Mutas usually do better. And, oh my gosh, he's going to be trying to move out. I don't think he actually has enough. Never mind. There's Banelings. And here's the drop. Blue Flames. So good, but not quite good enough. Only one or two Hellbats survived that. And that is how you deal with Hellbats, folks. You use Banelings. Banelings actually, as a rule, seem to be very good against Lucky's First Apocalypse's style of play, which seems to involve a lot of light units. And so Mutaling, very strong against them. There actually are the Mutas finally coming out. I just feel like he wants a Thor. You need a Thor, man. Get a Thor. This is bad for my heart. On the other hand, there really aren't that many Mutas on the field, so I don't think it should be too much of a problem. As more Hellbats going to be dropping here, you just can't micro Hellbats like you can other units. So this is going to be a bit of an issue for Lucky. There he finally spots the Hellbats. Wonder whether or not he'll be able to really do much with this. Whoa, my gosh, yeah, I just love watching them die like that. And he's trying to go for those workers who are trying to do their best. Just basically playing tag with, you know, a guy with a knife. Not precisely what you want to do. These drops going to be delaying Lucky's production quite a bit, though he does manage to keep a lot of his workers on gas. Something you do want to be able to do if you can. I don't think his positioning, I don't think those rally points are going to be helping him much. There is the Thor coming out, but is it going to be in time? And vehicle weapons 3, do we even have that? No, we don't have all that many upgrades for our Zerg player. Where are these Hellbats going? I do not know. Either way, this is going to be a sort of scary army for a Zerg to deal with. On the other hand, he's not totally prepared to defend himself yet, and I feel like he needs to be able to take some expansions here pretty soon, or he's going to be in trouble and needs to lay off the harassment and get himself some good meaty expands. Wow, I sound like a diet person, whatever. Either way, he actually has the supply lead. I feel like I'm telling all of this more from Apocalypse's point of view. Is it just because I like Terran more than Zerg? It's not even true. I love playing Zerg way more than Terran. Don't know. Either way, drop over here, going to be avoiding all of those things that were set out to spot him. Going to be able to do good amounts of damage, or at least delay mining, which is just as good, frankly. In the pro leagues, doing actual damage is a little bit more difficult. On the other hand, those Hellbats, I don't even know how many they've killed. Yeah, not all that much. Doing, like I said, doing actual damage in the as a pro, a little harder. All of a sudden, though, I feel like he could just, yeah, he's just going all in with this. He is just saying, you know what, screw it. This is what's going to happen. This is the battle. This is it, folks. If he wins this, he wins the game. If he loses this, he loses. He is all in. Hellbat Thor Viking Medevac. SCV's there. I don't know whether they're there to attack or to whatever, but I guess they are on the attack command. Attack, oh my gosh. Are they there just to hit the Banelings? I don't know. What I do know is those Baneling hits were absolutely huge, taking out most of his army. By the looks of it, I feel like Apocalypse has made a huge mistake. He just turned what could have been the perfect lead into basically a loss. I don't think he can survive this anymore. I think he just lost. I mean, he's 30 supply behind on the aggressive with 18 Banelings on the way. Not a chance in heaven. He is either he's got to get out of there, take a base. I don't think he can even. Yeah, this really was an all-in play from him, but those Banelings just too good. Oh, and there they go. Ouch. Ouch, that hurts. Actually, but the funny thing is that he's even still in this. That's what I can't believe, is that he's still able to continue the battle. I mean, Hellbat Thor, I mean, Banelings are great, but there's just, I don't know how he's keeping in this. And what I do know, though, is that, I mean, I don't think this is enough damage to justify what he's done, but he's certainly going to go for it anyway still, keeping up the macro constantly, as we do actually have Lings over here trying to spot, I think, for a hidden base. There is not one. Those Hellbats over there get taken out before the drop was able to land. He is able to drop inside the main base, though. Mule repairing that Thor. Oh my goodness, what are we looking at, folks? I don't even know what to think. He's just pulling back now. Don't think he has much of a choice in this matter. The Zerg has truly rebuffed him here. Those Banelings, just too much damage. You almost need to lead with the Thors. Try to absorb some of those Baneling hits, as we are going to be seeing some long distance mining as his own main base goes over to that one. He's going to try and recover from this. I don't really know how this is going to work. His opponent is 40 supply above and a base ahead. More like a base and a half ahead. Well, I don't even know about that, because this base is almost mined out, and this, I guess he's a base. We're going to go with a base ahead of him. So So this is basically going to be a very difficult uphill battle for Apocalypse now that this has happened. I'm not really quite sure what the follow-up is. There are now... I don't know if Roaches... Well, I guess it all depends on the Baneling hits. Baneling's just so good. We are seeing a lot of Widow Mines coming out, though. That is going to be an issue as he realizes that his opponent is all of a sudden on the aggressive. We have a couple of Widow Mines. Those Hellbats, though, realize, uh-oh, wrong place, wrong time. He's going to have to burrow that Widow Mine quickly. Oh, gosh, here comes the hits. Don't know whether he's going to be able to do anything. Oh... Okay, there we go. There was the hit I was looking for. Don't know why these Thors are on the... What is up with the Punisher? Why are they with the Punisher cannon payloads? I do not know. He probably wants to change that back versus the Mutalisks. I'm not sure Punisher going to be quite what you want for this. As my mouse totally freezes. You'd think you'd want the Javelins much more, but hey, what do I know? I'm not a pro player. I'm sure there is a reason, but what I do know is that this is looking increasingly bad for Apocalypse. There's just way too many forces on the field. He has almost nothing. And, I mean, it's just he doesn't have the bases. This is sort of what happened to Lucky last game. He just couldn't keep the macro up. And Apocalypse, we didn't exactly have more bases, but he had almost... I mean, what he was using was totally inexpensive. Biomine is very, very cheap. Hellbat Thor Widowmine? A little bit less so. I have to say, though, I think that Thors sort of look stupid like that, but hey, whatever, what do I know? I'm not an art designer. Either way, there's going to be the burrow trying to tempt that without hitting that Widow Mine. It is just out of its range, just barely. Oh, that was beautiful micro from Lucky. Apocalypse just, I don't even know what to do for him. What I do know is that this map is starting to look like Zerg. By the way, look at that perfect line that his creep spread is on the dot for the most part. Either way, this is a game that I feel Lucky just, well... But that's the thing, Apocalypse is starting to close the gap a bit, as happened last game. It's just, oh my god, there are so many Widow Mines. What the heck? 31 Widow Mines? You've got to be kidding me. What? What do you even, how do you, what? Oh gosh, and I thought Mass Widow Mines was for noobs. Apparently I'm the noob. Mass Widow Mine, that's, probably not going to be very effective versus Locust. On the other hand, without anything to really detect for them, without anything to really detect for the Locust, is not actually going to be bad either. I mean, they can't really do anything to the Widow Mine, so they're just going to sort of go past them. And the creep spread is reaching to his base. That is extremely bad. The last thing you want is creep spread near your base, because that means the Locusts are going to be able to move just that much quicker. I also should mention that Locusts are like the perfect things for stopping a lot of Widow Mine play, because look at that. See? All of these, you could run Lings through here now, and I feel like that might be something that could happen in the future. There's the scan. It's going to be seen. There's so many Widow Mines. He can afford to run. He's got so many Widow Mines, and he's just going to run them at the Swarm. There's a Swarm Post chase. Widow Mines chasing. Oh, this is crazy. It was Widow Mines chasing Swarmos. What has this world come to? What has this world come? Those Baneling hits! GG from Apocalypse! I didn't even notice the Banelings. That's the crazy part. Oh my gosh. Either way, Apocalypse saying GG. This is now 1-1. We'll have to have a tiebreaker.